Former Treasurer Peter Costello has injected himself into the political brawl over the chairmanship of the government's $73 billion future fund. He's attacked businessman David Gonski for accepting the job and accused the government of politicising the running of the fund. Meanwhile, the government's accusing the coalition of cronyism after Tony Abbott backed Clive Palmer's High Court challenge to the carbon tax. Political correspondent Tom Iggulden reports from Canberra.
Peter Costello wants to be the chairman of the Future Fund and he's not taking no for an answer.
The Future Fund was something that I conceived, I legislated it, and I put every dollar of capital into it. Every dollar.
Businessman David Gonski sounded out the fund's board members about who they thought should take over as chairman. The majority thought it should go to Mr Costello.
He informed the government of the views of the board. That is not the same thing as making a recommendation. He was not asked to make recommendation.
But the government then chose Mr Gonski himself as the new chairman.
Having got the confidence of the board, don't you think he should have ruled himself out as a candidate?
But the government says it can choose whoever it likes to invest its $73 billion.
I mean, Peter Costello seems to have a sense of entitlement, that he should have been the Prime Minister, so he used to stamp his feet behind John Howard, and now he's doing it again. But I'll tell you what, I'd rather put my money under the control of David Gonski any day of the week.
Foolish and juvenile. And, you know, there's certain things that I'll cop in public life, but I won't cop that.
Peter Costello was the best treasurer this country's ever had. How are you? Good to see you.
The old team was back in action.
Too much kissing with that.
With John Howard criticising Labor's handling of the process.
Everybody knew a year ago that David Murray was standing down, and they even managed to mess something as simple as that.
Tony Abbott says Julia Gillard rejected Mr Costello on political grounds after Kevin Rudd had granted him a seat on the fund's board.
Will the Prime Minister explain why the government did not accept the advice and the recommendations of the guardians of the Future Fund?
If he's asking me to appoint someone other than the best person for the job because they're a member of the Liberal Party, then I won't do it, Mr Speaker. We appointed the best person for the job.
And the government's accusing Tony Abbott of helping out one of the coalition's mates, the billionaire mining magnate Clive Palmer, who's preparing a High Court challenge to the carbon tax.
If Clive Palmer has got solid legal advice that there are constitutional problems, he has every right to bring an action before the High Court.
Clive Palmer says something one day and Tony Abbott parrots it the next. Clive Palmer tells Tony Abbott what to do.
The government isn't expecting a legal surprise.
Thank you.
It says the carbon tax is on solid constitutional ground. Tom Iggulden, Late Line.